And last but not least, let me talk about Without Remorse.
Okay, so I
Uh,
I skipped this. I didn't see it because it looked terrible, and I didn't have time.
well, I don't blame you at all,
Yeah,
right? But here's the funny part. Like it's just to get out of the way, folks, it's bad, right? But
yeah,
not the type of bad you would expect, right? So what it is I guess the newest Tom Clancy, movie, right?
right.
I should say adaptation of a novel basically from Tom Clancy, right? Now, just to get this out of the way, get things out of the way, right? I have never been, I've never read a Tom Clancy book in my life, right?
Okay,
Now I know in the
I
90s, right? In the
yeah, he
90s,
was big.
when shit like Hunt for Red October,
Yeah, he was big. He was
Patriot
big.
Games, Claire Presidija, still the top three best Tom Clancy movies
Yeah,
ever made. I would put Patriot Games up there as the best one, right? I haven't seen that film in ages. I probably saw it like twice in my life, and I thought that that shit was hard, dude. I mean, Hunt for Red October, the sell was it's Sean Connery and he's in a submarine. But it took me a while to watch it when it was on like local TV. Like, oh, it's a Tom Clancy thing, and oh, this is Jack Ryan. Okay, I didn't even know who Jack Ryan was until literally when Patriot Games came out, right? Then Claire Presidija was like, okay, this is a real dope sequel to like, like a shockingly great sequel, man. I mean, so but then that like I was never on the Tom Clancy hype train. I don't know. I guess it's because of the genre itself, right? Of this sort of political spy thriller kind of
right.
thing. It was just never my cup of tea when it comes to novels. Like I would watch them as films, but I would never go to my way to actually like read the books. I should actually put this on my bucket list. Maybe I should read one. Maybe I don't know. Maybe like one of the popular ones, and
Okay,
maybe
so
stuff like that.
I kind of put Tom Clancy in the same vein as I put Stephen King. Right, he's one of these authors that very talented, puts out a lot of work, but not like truly. I can't in good conscience say a great author, just a good author, like good, like pretty talented, good stories, a couple classics,
Right.
but nothing
But
that
quick,
really, like,
quick question. Sorry to cut you there. At the times when those books came out, right? I have to bring this up in the review itself. Did it feel relevant? Did it feel
all
like,
right, right.
yeah,
So yeah, exactly.
this
So
could happen today?
what?
You know?
Here's the thing, right? So my cousin is really into Tom Clancy, but I myself never got into him, and it's only because I discovered Leclerc and I prefer Leclerc in terms of that writing style because it's much more grounded. I prefer the more realistic stuff. Tom Clancy was still a little too fantastical, right? It and not really got into that, and it's more salacious and fantastical, not bullshit outright, but like just the illusion of really of what's the catering to the a certain mindset that I really hate, which is this kind of borderline paranoia and unrealism to it. No? Like so, I had a cousin who was like, "Boy, Tom Clancy's so realistic and so on and so on." It's like when you actually like do any kind of modicum of research, it's like, yeah, no, that is not true. Like he's clearly catered to a certain mindset of I don't know what to call it, but just American militarism and jingoism, no, in a sense. That's how I was interpreted Clancy, right? While somebody like Leclerc, yes, Leclerc is still fall into that camp a little bit, but Leclerc still has a much more grounded, more realistic feel to everything, right? As a filmmaker, I'm sorry, as a author, right? So Clancy's a person that you kind of grow out of, to be honest, right? Don't love him, but I understand how important he is as a author.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And even with games like Rainbow Six and stuff like that, I
Yeah, yeah.
still never like bothered to go out of my way to read a Tom Clancy
Is that
novel. 'Cause I was
same?
just
Is
like,
that right?
hey, well, a game exists, a movie exists. Do I really need to read the books?
Yeah,
That was
right.
just me and
Exactly.
how I saw it.
That's what Clancy did a lot. He exploited the aesthetic of realism, but didn't even come close. Like didn't even come close. I mean, as I said, Leclerc not as I don't think Leclerc also is truly realistic or anything like that. But at least Leclerc, gives a better sense of nuance, um, going forward. So I can't say he's a person I get fed up of, as you say.
Right, I understand. But last thing, before I jump into the review proper, I think, like you see, like I think I would say the last. um kind of decent Tom Clancy film adaptation I saw was one that probably a lot of people forgot. That was the Sum of All Fears, right?
Right.
That was the
Yeah.
last one that I saw, and
Which is okay.
it was alright for what it was, right? Couldn't buy Ben Affleck as
Right.
Jack Ryan. That was the problem.
Right.
He was no Harrison Ford. He was no Harrison Ford, right? And I appreciate Morgan Freeman being in the movie, but sorry, Ben Affleck, you are no Harrison Ford, right? No offense, bro. And yeah, after that, I just didn't really bother. Like I can't even tell you what other movies, adapted from his books and whatnot. But I just never went out of my way to seek them. And I think the real reason why is just because they felt too formulaic. It's always about some post-Cold War fear. It's always about
Yeah. Yeah.
some foreign country that may
Yeah. Yeah.
invade American soil and
Yeah.
may
Yeah.
kill people because
He
the
tapping.
reasons, right?
Yeah.
It's
No,
it's
you
that
really.
over and over and over.
Yeah, you really tap into that American kind of paranoia crap, and it for him yeah, I get listen, there's a whole audience who love that bullshit, so you can understand why he's so popular. But like, yeah, it again, much like with Stephen King. How much time Stephen King tell a story in New England, right? Same thing, the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
same itch. I talking about religion or whatever it is, right?
yeah. And with all that being said, though, folks, this is the main issue I had with this movie, right? Okay, so just premise wise, what it's about, right? So it's Starry Boy Michael B. Jordan, right? He is a Navy SEAL. His name is John Kelly, right? And we are introduced to him doing this mission. One of his men gets killed, and it's like, all right, well, he did the job, and he's still kind of iffy as to what going on because some CIA stuff behind the scenes, and he's not sure, right? But anyway, he pretty much is done with it. He moves on. He has a wife basically who is played by Lauren London, and
Right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I was so happy to see her, Dread. I mean, seeing what went down with with the unfortunate passing of her then boyfriend Nipsey Hussle, right? So yeah, I was just glad to see her just back into acting. It really was a great moment just seeing her there, right? She's pregnant, so it's like, well, you know what? I'm retired, so I'm gonna have a daughter, just all right. As we saw in the trailer, I'll talk about the trailer in a bit. Some goons roll up in the house, right? Of course, they have automatic weapons and they highly skilled and all that kind of stuff. So yes, they well, it's established early on that they basically go in after everyone who was involved in that mission. So in commando style, if you remember, the classic, and I stand by that word, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Yes, they go in after the people who who in the job there. So literally, there was a guy who like in his car, dread, and some folks roll out and bust shots, dread. Like it's really really messed up, right? But anyway, so yes, John is the last person, and yeah, in the process, though, his wife gets killed, right, and the baby dies, of course, right. He's taken to the hospital because yes, he killed a few people, but he got shot in the process, right. Well, oh gosh, well this girl is there as well. Jodie Turner Smith. I didn't know that she was going to be in this, right? She, if you remember her, she was in Queen and Slim, right, alongside
Right. Right.
Daniel
Right. Right.
Kaluuya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's this lieutenant commander, and she feeds him some names, right? And it's some Russian people, right? So yeah, now it's just basically John Kelly seeking revenge. But as you'd expect at a show like this, it's some shady stuff behind the scenes. It's
Right.
people in the higher ups who, had this ulterior motive and this plan all along to get them killed, to, wipe the slate clean and drama like that, right? So yeah, the main problem I had with the show, Dread, is just yes, this is a formulaic, generic film as all hell, though. But to me, I just couldn't help but feel like it was just dated, man.
Yeah.
Like if this thing came out like in the 90s, right? In particular, where we were just fed so much variations of the action genre, cliche and bad as they were, right? But this would have worked as a 90s film genre. This really would have worked. Like, like right after Clear Presidential, you would have get this movie here, right? But even as a 2000s movie, it would have kind of worked, right? But here in the 2020s, nah, boy, it
Yes.
just feels old, you know what I mean? And yes, the show will go out of its way to try to twist things in such a way so it's like, oh, well, it's not as generic as you might think. But then when you still think about this, it's like, Actually, it's still it's really generic though. That's really generic. Even right down to the ending, sorry, the climax, which I'm not even gonna spoil, right? All I'll say though, it involves a higher up, and yes, the higher up is involved. You
Right.
literally see it from the word go, from the moment
Yeah.
you see the actors, like yeah, he involved, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Now there's some good. There is some good, right? I would say that Michael B. Jordan, he did a decent enough job in this, right? I would say you are like, all right, yes, we've loved him in Creed and Creed 2 and Black Panther, but here he really goes out of his way to say, hey, I could be an action hero, you know. Just give me a gun and tell me who to shoot at. And I will do it, Jet. The man sells it though as this action hero, right? Even right now to having him take his shoot off a couple times, so it's
Of
like,
course.
yeah, he still have the Creed body.
Yeah.
He still have the Creed body. He still have it, right? But yeah, yeah, he does look very convincing though, you know, when he's doing these action scenes and whatnot. It's not I would say they could have given him more to do, Jet, because yeah, it's the and again, this is just an issue with like action films these days, right? So yes, you had stuff like John Wick, right, where you always have to have the characters do headshots, right? So is it now that every action show that comes after this have to have characters doing the same thing? Because yeah, it's that it's characters collecting headshots or two shots to the chest and to the
Yeah.
stomach, and that's it, right? It's that over and over and over, and I won't lie, it looks cool. He sells it, but it's nothing new. It's not anything unique or special, right? And but it's an action movie. Why should we expect anything special, man? But I don't know. Like it's a Tom Clancy movie again in 2021, Jay. Like we can't get so a little bit different, but whatever, right? But yeah, Michael B does hold the show down. I would say his lines weren't as cringy as I thought it would be. They're not like, oh, well, I gotta go and seek revenge and all that kind of stuff and talk like a bad man, basically. But yeah, it works, right? There's moments where he does really sell it as, yes, I need to stop these guys. But still, it does come down to I am better than you. I'm more skilled than you. I'm basically gonna survive this any regardless of what happens to me. You don't have to worry about me. I good.
Right.
So all you
Yeah.
just really need to do is see me shoot people and enjoy that, right?
Just
So
enjoy the show.
that's all
Yeah.
we get.
Pull out your
Unfortunately, yeah,
popcorn. Yeah.
exactly. You want to see me shoot bad guys? That's what it is, right? But there was like a few moments where where the movie does tell you, yeah, but he's still human though. He could still die, but still, I didn't really feel
All right.
like
Yeah.
he was going to die, right? It's that kind of show. And again, going back to like 80s and 90s action movies, that's like very much like a Commando or like any other action movie for the 80s and 90s. The character gonna live, right? They're gonna survive. So why should you worry or for the most part be invested? He gonna get out of it somehow, right? The supporting cast is okay, but they just really to the background to just Michael B. Jordan just doing his thing basically. Let's say that they were trash or they gave bad performances, but they were just there. They're just there basically to just shoot alongside, either shoot alongside Michael, get shot at by Michael, or just tell Michael, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be shooting people, right?
Right.
And yeah, but I would say though, like, yeah, the action is fine. It's well handled and stuff like that. Director wise though, there are numerous moments where it's hard to make out what's going on because it's a dark. They have to do the silhouette stuff here or there. But there's some lighted choices in certain scenes though, which I felt they really could have done more on. Like I'm not saying shine a huge light where when characters get shot at, but not everything has to take place on a dark hallway or whatever it is, or shadowy area, right? You could add a light some points, you know what I mean? Yeah. But technical stuff aside though, I will admit though the sound design was on point though. Like
Right.
you really do hear the shots, you really do hear the explosions though, and I was just watching this off my laptop and I had my soundbar on and I was just hearing that though. So yeah, if I did see it in theaters, I'm like, yeah, I mean movie, yeah, really all that, but that sound design though, jeez, I mean like it works, right? I mean it's very akin to like what you see like in a modern war film, right? Where you have to hear every shot and it always like hits your ear, drum that kind of vibe now.
Right.
But with that being said though, again, it's very cliched, very generic. You could see where things going a mile away. and it just really doesn't do much to it. I think just really it just suffers from, sorry, just the material itself. And just let you know one time, this is based off of a 1993 novel. Yeah, so yeah, man. Not saying pick some new book from him, but you could really see how old and dated this all feels, right? It just really feels like just bargain basement, action movie flair, right? That's really what you get here. But I know for some people they will like that. Some people will just won't mind will just watch that show. Like I would say, this honestly is one of those shows you can kind of watch on a Saturday night when you have nothing else better to do. Just rock back and chill and watch it. But believe you me, just like me though, and while I'm talking about this right now, to be honest, yeah, I don't even remember half of what went on in the trip.
Yeah,
It's
no.
it's
Yeah,
just that bland and forgettable of a story, and it's a shame though because Michael putting in work to that. I'll give it that he putting in work to. And last thing I'll say before I get to read it though, um, as violent as his show is going out of its way to be, it's not as violent as other shows that I've seen before, like
right,
recent films. Like I would say Nobody is way more violent than what I saw here, and way more fun actually, I should say, right? And
right,
oh, I forgot to mention just a couple more things before we get to it, right? The trailer spoils a lot in this shit. Like
right. Wow.
basically, it gives you so much of what you would expect action-wise in the show. So when I saw, it, I was like, oh yeah, well, saw that in trailer though, okay. That shot of him burning down this guy's car and then going inside the car to interrogate him. That would have been a great moment if I didn't see him go inside the car in the trailer. But I saw it, so I'm like, ugh, okay, whatever. And let me just call this a medium spoiler. This show had the nerve to do some sequel beating.
Oh no, well, you
It
really do.
had the nerve to do
Oh
sequel
no.
beating. The setup is okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, right? That's right after the cliche born identity conclusion we get.
Wow.
That's the best I could say. Once I say those two words, born identity, you know how it's gonna end. You know, right
Oh,
there. Right? But yeah, the mid credit scene that we get though is essentially I don't want to say a universe though, but it's based off of another Tom Clancy property.
right.
That's all I'll say. You probably know what it is already, but when how they bring it up to was just like, all right, in the 2000s, this would have work
Right.
when the property was still popular and relevant.
All right.
But in 2021, no.
Yeah.
This is just for the fans. This is just for the people who've always wanted to see this property become live action. And now you're
Okay.
throwing this at me in 2021. Why? Stop
Okay.
it.
Well.
Just stop it. Right? Come on. Dated. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
too little, too late, Trent.
So.
So overall, by as much as I want to give this a 2 out of 5, though, I'll be charitable here. I'll give this a very, very light 2.5 out of 5. If you
Right.
want to see it, see it. If you have nothing to do, especially like on a Saturday night, watch it. If it's on Amazon Prime,
Right.
watch it if you want to see it. But you can find so much better movies here. You could probably pull up our old Tom Clancy movie and watch that. But here, not saying that we should write off Tom Clancy movies completely, but I don't know, just pick one that isn't based off of a book that come out from '93, though. You know what I mean? Like something more relevant, in my opinion. Even though the show does try to make things relevant now, but still it's just like, well, this cliche we've seen hundreds of times before, right? The guy
Right.
who's on the up and things happen and now they're killing everybody off and now they want to make him the murderer and blah 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 and
Right.
start this war with Russia. Oh gosh, man, like
Yeah.
millions of
So.
times. Man. Yeah, but
Yeah. He tired of
okay,
the dated geopolitics.
thank you. I do want to see Michael B. Jordan do more action films. Like, well, I
Right.
mean, he is going to be doing directing, but I believe he's going to do Creed 3, right? He's going to
Yeah. Yeah.
direct
Direction.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to see him do more action films, man. Because he it's not just he look for it, but he had the drive for it, man. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Well,
please
the
give
big
this
thing
man better
is
material, though.
yeah, the big thing is that even with Chadwick gone, well, from my understanding, wanted to do a lot of like African stories. So I heard Mansa Musa and stuff like that. I heard that is like the next kind of push, especially with
Right, right,
Africa,
right.
Africa actually like economically ramping itself up and whatnot and whatnot. Yeah, well,
Yeah, but I mean, the future's still bright for we boy, right? But like I say, I want to see him. I want to see him do a couple more action films. I think he will just knock them out the park though. But just give him better material, please. And that's shit from Night Reader. Just see it.
you know.
Hey, this is Matthew Bailey, and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of the BS Beats and Bailey podcast. If you'd like to hear the full episode, hit up my link tree. On the other side of my head are 2 videos you can check out. Like this video if you like it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell as well. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, take care, peace.